So I picked up this Harbor Freight sheet metal 3-in-1 machine a few months ago. I got it when it was on sale, and they let me stack a coupon, so it's pretty cheap. Most of what I do is lightweight, real lightweight steel or lightweight aluminum, thin stuff. I don't do much of it, or work with heavy stuff. So it's plenty durable and big enough for what I need to do in most of the cases. But of course, it doesn't come with a stand, and the stand that they sell is fairly rickety. And I was able to build this one for cheaper than I would have paid for their stand, or at least cheaper for more durable. It's 1/8-inch wall 2x2 tubing. Fairly certain it's reasonably sturdy enough to handle it. It's on casters. The casters were kind of the splurge. I got them at Lowe's, and well, I paid a little more for those. It's bolted to, the machine is bolted to the stand with stainless steel hardware all the way around. It's one of the reasons why there's only one bar, is because the machine adds a fair amount of stability left and right to it as well, so I don't have to worry about that. But it's held up pretty well. I move it around on a regular basis. So I started where you always start when you're building something, and measured the dimensions on the stand that I was going to need. Cut them out at an angle so that I could get to the bottoms of the hardware to take them on, or put them on and take them off. Tested and make sure that that was the right size. Then stacked that pipe on top of another one and cut out another identical piece. This thing's actually fairly heavy. I don't remember what it weighs, but it's in excess of 200 pounds, not something that I was going to be able to move by myself. So before I was able to get the rest of the thing fabbed up and everything squared up, I just took the whole machine apart and took this opportunity to remove the nasty red packing grease that Harbor Freight puts on everything they ship out. But it took me a little bit to get it apart and then get the rest of the process started. I then welded the casters on the pieces that I had cut out earlier while I had the bandsaw set at an angle. Welded the casters on, tried not to put too much heat because you can fry the bearings. Once I had those things welded on, I took a measurement front and back to make sure that everything was square, and cut out the center section for the piece. The machine is rigid enough that I felt that was really only necessary to have one piece, and it would be a lot less likely to interfere with the metal. I cut that piece out and then welded it in. I used a bizarre combination of whatever semi-structural steel I had laying around, C-channel, rectangular tubing, and all sorts of things to help make sure that everything was square and lined up, all the edges were neat and flush. Used magnets to hold everything in 90 degrees, and still measured 3 or 4 times before I actually welded anything. Got everything tacked up, 2 bars across the bottom and 1 bar across the top in the center. One day I'm going to burn that poor little Lincoln Electric 135 up, pushing it to its limits. Well, it's way past its duty cycle, thicker steel than it's supposed to. Anyways, once I had the bottom done, I welded the uprights, again, checking for square, checking for everything to make sure that they were all right angles everywhere they needed to be. Welded those all together, and then welded the center beam in the middle there, put the top pieces onto the uprights, making sure that, once again, they were the same distance. Measuring at the bottom several times, measuring at the top. The old saying, when you're cutting something, measure twice, cut once. Works for welding too. Measure multiple times and weld one time. It's way easier than cutting the spot welds. Wiped everything down with acetone, sprayed it real good with some rattle can primer, then went over the same enamel that I've been using on all the other tools. It's just a generic Rust-Oleum branded enamel, and it seems to be pretty durable, so far I'm pretty happy with it, but that and all the things being silver is kind of fun too. Once I had everything painted and it was dried, I moved the machine back onto the stand, bolted everything in place, and then began the long process of reassembly,
tested everything to make sure it works, and everything is good to go. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.